Ugh, that must mean that James is disgusted about something yet again. And of course, we're back at good old Oddballs, but we're going to go and look at the opening here because I wanted to show you guys an earlier version that I found of the opening where there was a cactus and a bush in front of some of the lettering. We, of course, cleared that out of the way so you could read it clearly. But also, if you just listen to the tune in the background, that is actually an original version that we redid because we weren't satisfied with it. There's that little doo 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 doo. So anyways, we got rid of that. So, about to show you what the episode became, and then I'm going to show you what it was in the animatic, and I'm going to tell you why.
Ugh, line cutters. The lowest form of low. Honestly, if you ever catch me cutting, never talk to me again.
What? No! Talking's how we talk.
True. But line cutting is a crime against civilized society, Max. Anyone who does it should be ousted, shunned, banned. Each and every cutter is an animal.
Now, you saw that. Here's the original animatic that we had to adjust.
Cutters. The lowest form of low.
See what he did there? He said cutters, not line cutters. So the story behind that is that there was a concern that by saying cutters, some people might think we were talking about people who cut on themselves because they're going through something difficult. We never thought anything even close to that, of course, because everybody knows when you're a kid, line cutting is like the first thing you learn is bad, and that is the lowest form of low, and that it shouldn't happen because it's unjust. So it was all about line cutting the whole time, but nobody says, hey, no line cutters. They just say, hey, no cutting. So that was the original intent. There was concern about misinterpretation. Needless to say, this is where it started, but we ended up with line cutters.
Honestly, if you ever catch me cutting, never talk to me again.
What? No! Talking's how we talk.
True. But cutting is a crime against civilized society, Max. Anyone who does should be ousted, shunned, banned. Each and every cutter is an animal.
So there you go. Animal. Each and every cutter is an animal. So calling people animals, not the worst thing in the world, but some person possibly misinterpreting what we were saying, which I still don't know how that could happen. I don't think any of us did, but needless to say, better safe than sorry, I guess.
Tell James I promised him I'd never talk to him if he cut, so I'm not talking to him. Oh, it's so hard!
We already waited in line, so technically we're not cutting, we're reinserting.
Now I want to show you this because this episode was written by one of our great writers, Darren Henry, who wrote on Seinfeld and with Curb Your Enthusiasm. So he's very good at coming up with those little Seinfeldisms, like it's reinserting. Now this here, you're going to see in a moment in the animatic what it originally was become. It became much shorter, like this with the threatening old lady.
Hey, remember us? Tent, giant talking crocodile. Good, thanks, all right.
Try it and die, doughboy. No cuts.
I was reinserting!
Tell
Just a great callback, reinserting. So she threatens him, try it and die, doughboy, no cuts, gets us back in the line. Here's how it originally was going to work.
James I promised him I'd never talk to him if he cut, so I'm not talking to him. Oh, it's so hard!
We already waited in line, so technically we're not cutting, we're reinserting. Hey, remember us? Tent, giant talking crocodile. Good, thanks, all right.
Try it and die, doughboy.
Seems about the same, right? Well, this one goes on a little bit longer.
No cuts.
Shh, I'm not cutting, I'm reinserting.
The only inserting will be done by old Betsy here.
So she pulls apart her cane, revealing that it has a sword inside, and she's threatening to stab James, which Netflix thought was a little too much. So we trimmed it out. But that's how it originally was. I mean, look at that. Would have been an amazing shot, right? James reflecting in the blade of the sword that's going to stab him if he reinserts.
Fine, no cutsies. But there are Savesies, and my aunt was saving our space in line here.
So that was a joke that the writer Darren Henry had put in that James and I found quite funny. The network wasn't a
Line
fan
here.
of it.
Savesies, and my aunt was saving our space in line here.
I don't know why. James and I thought it was funny. Needless to say, James finds himself at the back of the line. Again.
You
Now,
cost us ribs again.
Hey, at least I'm not a liar.
Who's lying?
You, Miss I'm from the future.
I am. And that's why I know a way to get my old pal Roxanne off our backs.
so this is all about the setup for the rock, paper, scissors fight. So it was very quick. Echo says she knows how to get Roxanne off their backs. And then we, of course, cut to James approaching about the rock, paper, scissors.
Well,
So in this case, something else triggers Roxanne hearing her name here.
I saw that coming.
Oh, are you a psychic too?
No, I'm just not an idiot. You cost us ribs again.
Hey, at least I'm not a liar.
Who's lying?
You, Miss I'm from the future.
I am.
Yeah, sure. Lots of people have bracelets.
Temp audio there. That's one of our editors.
Then let us use your time warp and proof.
Okay, so this is all different here. So rather than just going right to the Roxanne overhearing her name being mentioned, there's a whole bunch of scene here that we ended up trimming.
Let us use your time warp and prove it.
Can't. Time warp only works one way when you go back in time. See, time travel tech hasn't been invented in your time, so I'm pretty much kicking it here, chowing ancient junk food until someone invents it.
Oh, how convenient. I'm trying to cut the line and you're just delivering an absurd amount of exposition that's keeping me from doing that. Well, that and Roxanne.
So there you go. So in this case, it was James triggering Roxanne to hear her name in turn. And it was a back and forth with a whole lot of exposition that we called out literally as exposition because we thought it was funny. But the network hated when we did direct calls out, the kind of inside baseball stuff. So it ended up going. But you guys get to see it here anyway. So win-win.
You know, I do know a way to get my old pal Roxanne off our back.
Aha! Now I know you're lying. How could you know Roxanne if you're from 300 years in the future?
So I left this in. You'll see in the last frame here of why I left this extended part in.
Is Roxanne a time traveler too?
No, she's a rock who's still alive in 300 years, and she loves playing rock, paper, scissors.
There you go. So we had that little bit in showing an older Roxanne going around in a little scooter type thing that you'd see at the grocery store in the future. And she's champion apparently of rock, paper, scissors. And she's a bit smaller, a bit more rough. There you go.
Hey,
So
Roxanne.
here's the original board for
Wanna
that
play
sequence.
rock, paper, scissors? If I win, you let us reinsert ourselves to our rightful place at the front of the line. And if you win, you can toss us out from the whole event.
Why not? I ain't tossed you around enough today.
So you can kind of see the initial ideas that were manifested in that great animated sequence.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot!
You blew it!
So that was a combo of two different editors' voices. And the reason that the editors' voices are in there is because the idea for that line came up while we were watching some of the process of the storyboards that you're looking at right now. And we realized we needed to add a line there for a joke and to fill the space. And we hadn't recorded it yet. So when the next time we had Julian in the booth, we recorded it.
Well, guess I was right, and you're incredibly stupid.
Yeah, James, what's wrong with you?
It was a good plan. I knew that Roxanne knew that
So as you can see, we're just going to do more realistic hands with James, but of course they became
I
what they
knew that
became.
paper covers rock. So I was expecting her to trick me by playing paper, which covers rock, which is why I chose scissors, which cuts paper. You don't understand, because I'm playing four-dimensional chess.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, she was playing rock, paper, scissors.
Now this, I just put this in because it's one of my favorite moments, because we do, I guess what I could only call Big Bird Max in this moment here. So you'll see what I'm talking about as he does the back and forth, and he just really has that flappy mouth.
I can't take hearing my best friend and someone I barely know, but who has immense friend potential, angrily yell factual things at each other.
So of course, as you can see, we loved it so much with his back and forth, as you can see in the top right corner, that we ended up extending it longer than the scene. Now, original ending, people. You're going to see that next time on Oddballs Behind the Scenes for Line Cutters in part 2. So the original ending was much more extended, was completely different. So when you guys stop by next week, we will show you the original ending and kind of what it became and the differences between the two. And of course, the reasons why for that. So thank you all for tuning in again. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Go to the Oddballs Behind the Scene playlist to see all the behind the scenes that I've shared so far. I, of course, will continue to share some of this. And for those who have been asking, there will be a new Lego Building Block Demolition Derby coming. My editor is also in school, so he's been doing finals. So I'm waiting for him to be clear to come back. But please come back next time to see what the original ending was for Line Cutters.